TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. U.S. President Donald Trump confirms that progress has been made regarding a new plausible hostage release arrangement. French President Emmanuel Macron announces that he intends to recognize a Palestinian state. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu relays his Passover Holiday wishes to the people of Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a situation assessment vis-à-vis the Gaza Strip with Israel's negotiating team and the top security establishment officials last night, against the backdrop of reported progress in Egyptian-mediated talks with the Islamist Hamas. The reported progress relates to a new Egyptian proposal that was discussed by the Israeli premier and his emissaries, calls for the release of 8 living Israeli hostages in exchange for a 50-day ceasefire, and starting talks on the so-called second phase of a previously agreed outline to include discussions on conditions for ending the war. Top Israeli officials said the chances of reaching a deal are greater now than in the last few weeks. However, it is important to highlight that the details of the new proposal have not yet been relayed to Hamas. Meanwhile, during President Donald Trump's cabinet meeting at the White House in Washington, the American leader highlighted the reported progress.
Likewise with the hostages, we're making progress. There's 59 hostages, but only 24 of them are living, and that's the way it's been presented to me by the mothers of some of the dead, mothers and fathers of some of the dead hostages, and they want the bodies of their baby, as they say, their baby, their young boys. They want them back as much as if they were alive. It's amazing, because when I met the hostages 2 weeks ago here, I couldn't believe what they had to go through, by the way. But when I met them, they said, yeah, there's 59, but 24 are living. And they actually consider, I guess if you're a parent, you do consider it this way, that the remainder who are dead, the 24 that are alive, the remainder that are dead, they want them back just as much as they would want them back if they were alive. It's really pretty amazing and pretty sad. So we're getting close to getting them back. We have a lot came back. A lot of people are very grateful. Some came back in pretty bad shape. Some came back, they're okay. I think they're going to be scarred mentally for a long time, because if you sit down and talk to them, as I have, what they went through is incredible. But we're making progress. We're dealing with Israel. We're dealing with Hamas, and it's a nasty grip.
While the United States is essentially leading the negotiations in support of a new hostage release deal, which would also bring about the end of Hamas's rule in the Gaza Strip, French President Emmanuel Macron is looking to outflank the post-Gaza plan, which was proposed by his American counterpart, by going as far as willing to recognize a fictitious Palestinian state, irrespective of reality on the ground, all the while also aiming to build upon the Abraham Accords to include Arab recognition of the State of Israel.
We need to move towards a recognition of a Palestinian state. And so in the coming months, we will, and I won't do it for unity or to please this or that person. I will do it because I believe that at some point it will be right, and because I also want to participate in a collective dynamic. That is, one must also allow all those who defend Palestine to recognize Israel in turn, something many of them are not doing, being clear about how to fight against those who deny Israel's right to exist, which is the case with Iran, and to commit ourselves to collective security in the region.
Meanwhile, in Washington, U.S. State Department spokeswoman Tammy Bruce was asked to respond to the French leader's proclaimed intentions.
We are aware of course, the reports that you refer to regarding the French government's remarks, and we refer you to them for further comment. What I can also, though, say is that the United States stands firmly with the State of Israel in its pursuit to bring all the hostages back home and the defeat of Hamas. The groundbreaking Abraham Accords and the devastating October 7th attacks have forever changed the Middle East. As a Special Envoy Witkoff has said, we need to explore new policy prescriptions that ultimately end up in a better life for the Gazans and the Palestinians. Look at the discourse that's now happening today, he said. We're actually engaging in a productive conversation around what is best for Gaza and how we can make people's lives better. This administration will continue to engage our partners in the region on a serious solution for Gaza that secures peace and the release of all the hostages, among them 5 Americans, including Idan Alexander.
The State Department spokeswoman was further asked about remarks made by Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's senior advisor, Ali Shamkhani, who warned that if military threats continue against Iran, the Ayatollah regime would kick out IAEA inspectors and hide its enriched material.
First of all, these actions, the threat of that kind of action, of course, is inconsistent with Iran's claims of a peaceful nuclear program, right? Also, expelling IAEA inspectors from Iran would be an escalation and a miscalculation on Iran's part. The United States remains deeply concerned that Iran is amassing a growing stockpile of highly enriched uranium for which there is no credible peaceful purpose. Iran is the only non-nuclear weapon state producing highly enriched uranium at this level. Also, beyond the threat to expel the international nuclear inspectors, but also threatening to transfer its stock of uranium to secret locations. And again, why would one need to do that if it was for peaceful energy work? Doesn't make much sense. So again, it is an escalation and a miscalculation on Iran's part if they were to do so.
It is important to highlight that in the last report by the International Atomic Energy Agency, the agency's Director General Rafael Grossi pointed out that throughout the past 4 years, Iran has not provided updated declarations, and the agency has not been able to conduct complementary access to any sites and other locations in Iran. Meanwhile, during last night's cabinet meeting at the White House, Secretary of State Marco Rubio stressed the importance of looming nuclear negotiations with Iran scheduled for Saturday.
An important meeting, thanks to you, is going to happen on Saturday for the first time in a long time. There'll be direct talks between Ambassador Witkoff and a top-level leader in Iran. We hope that'll lead to peace. You've been very clear what Iran is never going to have is a nuclear weapon. And I think that's what led to this meeting, and we'll wait for him to come back from it, and we're hopeful about that.
It is important to know that late last month, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, when asked about whether Tehran would be willing to reinvigorate the so-called JCPOA or 2015 nuclear agreement, he claimed that the Islamic Republic had substantively advanced its nuclear program and therefore it would demand to preserve its accumulated knowledge that would require a new agreement altogether, a demand the Trump administration rejects outright.
In my opinion, the JCPOA in its current form and with its current text cannot be revived and is not advisable for us either because our nuclear situation has now advanced so much that we cannot return to the conditions in the JCPOA. We have gone far beyond it.
Turning to Israel, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu published a Passover Holiday message to the people of Israel.
My brothers and sisters, citizens of Israel, on Seder night, we all gather with our loved ones, and we all tell the story of our people who came out of slavery and into freedom. But on this holiday, many families will have empty chairs, chairs of our beloved hostages who are still in Hamas captivity, chairs for those who fell heroically on the battlefield, and chairs for our wounded loved ones who are struggling to come back to life in the rehabilitation wards. But from this void, the clear voice of our fallen heroes rises, like the last message of the late Elkanah Wiesel, may his memory be blessed, who wrote to his family, "Do not be sad when you part from me. Sing, strengthen each other." For we are a generation of redemption. Indeed, we are the generation of redemption, the generation of victory. Together we will return our captives, together we will defeat our enemies, together we will embrace our wounded, and together we will bow our heads in memory of our fallen. On October 7th, there were those who believed that we would drown in the sea in front of the enemy armies. But not only did we not drown, we rose as one man, and with a strong hand and an outstretched arm we broke the axis of evil. The entire world looks in wonder at our ancient people, who time and again prevail over those who seek our lives. In every generation they rise up against us, and the Holy One, blessed be He, and the spirit of our warriors save us from their hands. Blessings on the holiday of freedom. A kosher Passover to all the people of Israel.
חג פסח כשר לכל עם ישראל. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to start by wishing all of our viewers a Chag Pesach Sameach and thank all of TV7's family of supporters. TV7 Israel is a donation-based ministry with all of our programs made possible by the generosity of our viewers. Therefore, if you're blessed by the content of our programs, please consider becoming a monthly TV7 Israel supporter. You can donate via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan wishing you a Shabbat Shalom u'Mevorach, and God willing, we will see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.